Well, it's patch week here on the Ark of War channel. Coming off the launch of Eve Echoes, we were kind of expecting Ark of War to do big things, but we just kind of got a cruise control patch, a little bit of robust expansion for defensive players. Hancock's looking really good. We're going to jump into that here in a minute. Did you guys see the winner of meme review last week? This is Jorgen's meme. It says, Ark War notifications at 3 a.m. Your guild members are talking about you. Me. Shut the frick up. Okay. All right. Also, all the patron community coins have been sent out. I think we're getting rid of the Founders Club, the Mug Club. I'm going to close that tier down. The Founders have been found. We're out of mugs, so we're probably going to close that tier down and stick back to the $10 tier. If I can get this coin out, I'll show it off. Man, this thing's on there really good. Okay, now you get it out. Ooh, it's heavy too. Really heavy. So on one side, it's Bad Titans, right? The Bad Titans Club. We're all members. We've all made Bad Titans. And then second, on the back side says Ark of War Community 2020. I'll probably put the image up because that's hard to see. But yeah, it's 3D laser engraved. Really cool commemorative coin. Really glad we made those. All right, so if you're a patron, you probably already got those. Let's talk about one more thing. Oh, Chupa Die. Big shout out to Chupa Die. Every week, Chupa Die puts together the mobilization results. Now, you can find these mobilization results in Discord and in the Line groups. If you're still not a member of Line, look in the description below. Message me directly. I will invite you into the appropriate Ark of War Line groups. There's about 10 of them now. These are the results. Pretty standard, kind of what we expect. Guystone's $500 value is still worth 63,000 gold. A Commander's at 33,000. You know, if you're just doing the free-to-play version of Mobilization, you could still get an Energy Stone or Intellibot. Simple enough. So thanks for doing that, Chupa. He keeps, every week he does this. So send in your results if you win any of this stuff so that he can add it all up and add it to his collection of images of all the weeks prior. I should do like a chart here, but maybe in the future. Now, by this point, I assume everyone's already read the patch notes. You kind of know what's going on. The big things I want to talk about are the 2 items and then the bonus stats for max level gear, i.e. level 50 gear, which is ridiculously expensive. And it's kind of weird because in Ark of War, going from level 1 to 2 gives the same stat bonuses as going from level 49 to 50 on your gear. Well, the developers have changed that, probably from a lot of complaining from the higher level players. I know Oded had a lot to say about that. But let's take a look at the new patch and we'll go over that. Alright, so wearing multiple pieces of gear, max level gear, now grants additional stat bonuses. So Deranged threw this up in the Walker chat. It's a response from the VIP team saying, what's the scaling of having max level 50 gear? So it said if you have 2 pieces of gear, it's 1%, 3 is 2%, 4 is 4%, and 5 max level gears gives 10% bonus. Looks like this equipment slot is still bugged here. They'll figure that out. So if you go to these total stats here, I think it just adds it total to all of it. I'm not sure if it adds it to the 3 set bonuses. I'm not sure if it adds it to the Aegis Hall or Arc Halls. And the reason that's important is because we're getting close to that 100% damage reduction. Everyone knows the reason we get Rogers to level 50 defensive stance is because it's so much easier to get to 100% damage reduction when it's level 50, right? You only need 4 slot trigger. Well, at 100% damage reduction, you take 0 melee combat spell damage. The only thing that breaks Rogers' defensive stance is just a few skills, like King's Mind Eye, Lady Beast Destructive Power. You can blast it off with Steam Cannon, which he's still going to be vulnerable to, but there is these new shield barrier type weapons that might give him a little more tanky, a little more damage. I think they're trying to make Rogers a better commander again, and I'm not opposed to that. They did add in the resistance stat from the 3-piece Hercules, but now there's this new piece of gear, and we'll jump right into that. Actually, should I cover that anymore? No. Okay, we'll go to that. All right, so max damage reduction right now looks about 86 to 88%, which is really high. The closer you get to 100%, the more powerful it is. Now, keep in mind, a lot of players aren't sitting on max level 50 gear, or let alone 5 pieces of it. It's just kind of, hey, we're throwing it out there. It exists in the game. That's what we do here. Take it for what it is. And people are getting more and more level 50 gear as time goes on. So, you know, as the years go on, it'll be more relevant. All right, so the new gear, the Assault Shield and Meteor. First, I want to point out that this is a 9% per level weapon. Remember, the way we kind of calculate legendaries is how many percent do you get per level. Basically, it's if you have 30%, you get 3% per level. I just say that 3% means 3 to me, and then you get attack, HP, and defense. That's 3, 6, 9. So 9% per level, which is really good. That is a top tier weapon. Okay, this isn't a mid-range or low tier weapon. It's going to be tier 5 or tier whatever you want to call it. If you look back, though, see, this is a shield, Assault Shield. Go back to the Eternal Barrier, one of the tier 1 legendaries, maybe tier 2. It only has 20 and 20, so that's 4% per level. So by the time you take it to level 50, it's not very good. It's just overall stats. You only got 4% per level. You're not doing much. As opposed to other items like a Titan that can have 60% max, so that's 6% per level. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this? When you look at this new Assault Shield, you're picking up HP and defense. Who likes HP and defense on their weapons? Defensive commanders, right? Elf, Rogers, Reinhardt, Hancock, Tank Stella. But it also has a little attack, which Rogers really needs. So this, and Hancock, right? So these play right into the Hancock builds, and maybe Reinhardt. I really like this shield. I think at 9% per level, it's really good. What competes with it? Well, for tank commanders, not really much. Rogers, for a while, was running Titans just because he needed damage. He couldn't rely 100% on his Tear Space HP build. And also, you know, you need it if you're tier 10, tier 11. But now, I think we're going to start seeing Rogers run this shield, and probably Hancock's. Probably not Elf's, just because Elf has accuracy choices here on the weapons and Resistance Weakened. But we'll see as the meta defines into the playoffs. Meteor, the new jewelry piece. It has resistance built in. That's the 3-piece Hercules gym set. Okay, that's 24% at max level. Plus the Hercules makes it 39%. I want to double check those numbers here. Is it 10% or is it 15%? Hercules 3-piece is 15%. So a potential of 39% damage reduction, or I'm sorry, 39% what is it called? Resistance, meaning that you're going to be able to resist being debuffed, or I think Steam Cannon. I don't know if Steam Cannon works like that. Thought I had a video on it off the top of my head. Check the comments below if you know if Steam Cannon works on resistance. We didn't really see it trigger too much. Honestly, in a lot of replays, the replay of the weeks, we just don't see resistance land too much. But because Steam Cannon and Curse and Dizzy and Sleep Bomb and Dual Blades and Feral Strength, there's so many commanders relying on debuffing their opponents. These resistance stats are going to be really good going into bigger, long fights, especially for Galactic Battle and All-Star. So I like what it offers. It takes away crit, no big deal, but it also has HP, so it's really focusing on those tier 12 HP builds. Who runs those builds? Elf, Rogers, Reinhardt. So Rogers getting 2 potential big upgrades here, but the downside to the Meteor is it doesn't have damage reduction. Okay, now Rogers doesn't necessarily need damage reduction because he has it built into his second skill, right? His defensive stance. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, Rogers has to build super HP for his damage, get a little damage reduction. Okay, fine. But now with the Assault Shield and the Meteor, it kind of makes up for it. I think that's what they're going for this. They're bringing Rogers back into the meta. Fine. Okay, he deserves to be there. He's been kind of lampooned for the last 2 months. All right, back to the news. Let's get a couple more things out of the way in case I miss anything. All right, so lower the max number of speed ups. That's just so people aren't exploiting it. Awakening can be viewed when the commander is out, so you know what their awakening's currently at. There's a new add leadership, so you don't have to just add 1,000 at a time anymore. You can add 10,000, or was it 100 at a time? Yeah, it was 100 at a time. Now you can do a straight up 10,000. So if I go turn it on here, for 100,000 gold, you can do a 10,000. Of course, if I had the magazines, it would be fine. But it went from being 100 to 10,000, which will let people max out commanders much quicker, as opposed to clicking for 40 minutes straight, which can be annoying. But how many people actually do that? This definitely feels like a patch for the whales. Like, I understand that Eve Echoes is coming out, and it's going to be hitting the player base, and the developers don't want to like change the whole game to like compete with Eve, but they also wanted to open up the end game so that the whales are still interested. That's kind of what it feels like. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think I'm wrong on that? I think not a lot for the lower mid-range players here, but definitely a lot for the super high-end. Oh, the last thing. You Lost sent me a picture of this. If you're wondering what a level 50 piece of gear looks like, you can actually zoom in here. And if it's 50, it glows. It has a purple glow. How cool is that? I don't know, I guess it's cool. It's not that cool, but at least you know it's a max level piece of gear. So a lot of things happening on Ark of War. Overall, health of the game, community-wise. Health of the game's good, okay. Okay. Community-wise, we're hurting because Eve Echoes is taking a lot of players. I'm playing Eve Echoes. Unfortunately for me, and I'll end it on this, I am up at Primetime Station. I told you guys I'm off planet. That means I'm doing a lot up here. So unfortunately, my real life job and things I'm doing are just eating my time. So I haven't been able to dive into Eve Echoes as much as I'd like. It's very much like EVE Online. In fact, it basically feels like the same game, just limited, because it's on mobile, and I play on PC, so for me, I almost feel like I should be playing EVE Online. EVE Echoes is going to be cool, though, because you get this space MMO on your phone, and it's beautiful, and there's so much to do, but it also feels like, what am I doing? What am I doing? There's quests in it. If you get on a good quest line, you could really dig into it. This just goes back to my thoughts on obsession, right? Part of like human nature is to obsess about things. You want to be good at something, you got to obsess about it, think about it, just constantly do it, and it just takes time. And I just don't have the time to commit to EVE Echoes right now that I want, but I will in the next week or two. Hey, look, Magnum PI in the chat. Shout out to Magnum PI. All right, anyway, that's enough for the news, guys. I think I covered what I need to cover. If I miss anything, please check the comments below. And if anything else shadow patched in, I'll let you know, or someone in the comments will, because they're always something we figure out in the next couple of days. I think there's a new All-Star final round where people compete, and I think that's really cool. That's kind of one of those understated things that doesn't get a lot of credit. All-Star is a cool feature. Just most players aren't really, you know, I don't know. It's Ark of War needs something. And I propose a lot of things. I should probably do a video on it. But one thing I'd like to see is rare spawns on the map. I'd like to see capitals provide for something. I'd like to see more random spawns on the map. Not necessarily all rare spawns. But able to drop things, cosmetic things, change the way your commander skins, change the way your ship looks. Just things. There's so many things they could do, like camo skins. There's a lot of room for change and cosmetic growth in Ark of War. And I think they could really exploit the market of their players by giving them just stuff to customize. And I know it's just more data, more stuff you have to download, but they're little things that I think would do a lot for the game. So anyway, as far as the channel's concerned, everything's good here. Thanks everyone who supports me on Patreon. I hope you guys all enjoy your coins. You should all have tracking numbers in your mail. And if you want a coin, the only way to do it is through Patreon. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. All right, guys, that's it. Description below if you want to know more. My name's Melt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for replay of the week. We'll definitely do 3 videos a week, not necessarily 5.